Hello guys, what's going on? It's Nagacious here, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. We are almost at the end of the game. I mean, it has to be. The final route, and by the events that took place last episode, holy god, there's only one problem remaining in Katawa Shoujo, and that is Lilly's leaving to the other side of the world. She's leaving for Inverness, Scotland. And we will be staying here in Japan, in Yamaku Academy. Both Satos, Akira and Lilly, will be leaving back to their parents. And the moment Lilly leaves Japan, as Akira told us, our relationship will end with Lilly. And we kinda have to do something about it, but we don't know what. So that is our only remaining problem in this game, most likely. So let's get going. So at the very end of last episode, we just came back from the Shanghai. We had a talk with Lilly, and we walked into our room, just wondering what the hell we should do. As class ends, I simply rest my head on my hand and stare out of the window to pass the time. It's been a few days since Lilly told me her plans. I haven't been to our ordinary lunchtime haunt since then. Not that there would be much point. So, with a few days, so she'll be leaving like in 1 or 2 days then. Hanako's been busy with the newspaper club she's newly joined, and has even begun talking in class with Naomi every now and then. Cool. That's good. Even Lilly, aside from the fact that the meeting between us would have been awkward in any case, has been run off her feet with class representative duties as the summer holidays approach. And now, they're just about here. With the end of today's bell, the summer holidays will have begun. I suppose that all I'll end up doing will be visiting my parents for the duration and lazing about my old home, now that my previous plans are entirely askew. Meanwhile, Akira and Lilly will be en route to Scotland, to live out the rest of their lives there. No matter how hard I try to rationalize the idea that once the summer holidays begin, my life will return to the way it was, it simply refuses to happen. Everyone's moving on with their lives. Lily's rejoining her family, Akira's moving up in her father's business, Hanako's gaining new friends and hobbies, and even Yuko's moving ahead with her university aspirations. Even I'm moving forward, in the end. With the grades I've gotten so far in Yamaku, much less after such a rocky beginning, the path to get into teaching science as a career seems straightforward. I suppose I should at least be happy about that much, but it doesn't really seem to help. Hee-chan! I quickly stop ruminating and turn my face to the bubbly voice beside me, putting on the most upbeat expression I can muster. As expected, Shizune stands flanking her. I have a sneaking suspicion they want something from me. Hey Misha, Shizune, what's up?
Well, Hichan and I were thinking, since we're just two poor little girls that need help with all the work we've been given just before the holidays begin...
Sure, I can help.
But Hichan, we really need... What?
Oh yeah, because she's so used to us saying no. I think I broke Misha. Even Shizune raises an eyebrow at her accomplice's shuddering stop in her tracks.
So you'll help us, Hichan?
I just said I would, didn't I? It's hardly like I have anything better to do. Maybe helping them with their work will help me take my mind off the situation. Misha seems genuinely ecstatic with my response, but Shizune's expression is clouded and difficult to read. I find myself quickly averting my eyes from her own, as it almost looks like a face of pity. Again, pity. No doubt, it must be just my imagination. This is hardly the first time I've been in the student council room. Indeed, I've found myself down here often, either to help Lilly with class rep work, or to sort out the one thing or another with the student council itself. Now though, it's quite a different place. Papers and folders are strewn across every table in the room, only a solitary little black laptop atop a single desk sticking out from the mess. It looks positively ancient, and I'd guess it has been valiantly serving its task in archiving information for years and years. So, what needs doing? This looks like a lot to do. Shizune's expression becomes determined as she signs. It's a worrying look.
Everything, Hichan!
My worry was well placed. Everything, you say?
What's left on the desks is what needs to be done. It all needs to be digitally recorded, which is what the laptop is for.
Oh God, Jesus Christ. And I'm guessing that I'll be the one doing this.
Shichan says she saw you with the computer in the library a few days ago, and yet you seemed really good with them.
Good with computers? I can touch type, I guess, but it still seems like an overestimation of my skills. I was just typing up homework. Wait, Shizune was watching me do that.
One must know their allies before they can know their enemies, of course. Wow, that's pretty wise.
For once, it's not very hard to work out who said that. Nonetheless, it doesn't seem worth fighting over. Sitting at a computer doing some typing hardly seems onerous, as far as tasks helping Shizune and Misha go.
Besides, it'll help you take your mind off things.
Take my mind off things? Take my mind off what things? Misha's face goes blank as she translates this for Shizune, though the latter's response is only to glance away towards the window after briefly sighing. Misha's face quickly returns to a smile as she translates back. She was confused, I guess, but Shizune is harder to pin down.
I was just thinking you may like to get your mind off the exams, of course.
Either way, we may as well get into it sooner rather than later. I'll go along with you.
That's the spirit, Hichan.
And that's the 5th spreadsheet compiled and saved. Now time for the next month's. After a little bit of fussing around, all we managed to get a bit more organized. Shizune's been gathering up the loose sheets and, thankfully, sorting them into a neat pile next to me. Meanwhile, Misha's been handling the manual writing work, her girly pink pen leaving its unmistakable mark on paper after paper. Once I got myself into a rhythm, this really wasn't so bad. Shizune and Misha also seem to be in a swing of things, wordlessly communicating as they go about their business with fervor. I periodically glance at the sheet beside the laptop, apparently a list of student names and matching addresses, as I dutifully enter the data written on it. I don't pay a lot of attention to what I'm typing in until I reach about midway down the page. Hakamichi, class 3-3. Huh. Her family's home is in Saitama. My idle curiosity is ended abruptly as 3 light taps can be heard rapping on the door. Misha quickly skips over to check who it is, tapping Shizune's shoulder on the way past to let her companion know what's happening.
Ah, you're here!
Who is it? With a slight pause to enter Shizune's data into the file along with all the others, I look up to check who's at the door. Lilly? Okay, what's going on here? Well, I mean, I suppose she wouldn't have left for Scotland yet, but this could be one of two things. After giving a cursory nod to Misha in greeting, she perks her head up in her trademark manner. Is that Hisao? She's pretty darn good at working out my voice from the smallest of phrases nowadays. Yeah, it's me. Hey. The atmosphere feels slightly awkward as she bows. None of us knows quite how intimate we should be around each other, given that she's leaving in just a matter of hours. Okay, in a matter of hours. This is a fact that, thankfully, neither the oblivious Misha nor the hardworking Shizune pick up on. So, you've got work to do as well? Unfortunately, I arrived as soon as I could, but my class held me up with a surprise farewell party, and I had to get changed. I glanced down at the laptop's clock. It's pretty much at the end of lunchtime, so I'm guessing Lilly managed to wrangle the last period off as well. I take it Shizune is here as well. Lilly's so goddamn tall, she's...
Of course! And I've been here during all of lunchtime as well!
That last comment was really not needed. Shizune's baiting Lilly into another argument, I can feel it. I'm sorry I cannot be as hardworking as you, Shizune. I'll endeavor to hire more lackeys to do my work in future, I assure you. And Lilly took the bait, escalating things further.
But aren't you the one always outsourcing work to your classmates?
The difference is that they choose to help, unlike your tyrannical grip on your own class.
Tyranny works! Even if we did things differently, we still got the same results, right?
This is school, not a police state. You will have to remind me when you were appointed class monarch, I'm afraid.
You have to seize power! It's not as good as just hand it to you! But I guess you wouldn't really understand that, right?
I like how Misha and Shizune are both just mad. Their duo is fucking perfect.
You'll also have to remind me when monarchs were elected into their positions.
Lilly positively bristles at this. Shizune's 2-hit combo forces her onto defense. Yet all your vaunted power, you cannot get one person to help you without forcing him.
But Hisao volunteered! He's such a hard worker! He's doing this instead of meaningless socialization, right?
Is that so, Hisao? This is bad. I've really ended up between a rock and a hard place. As much as it may pain me to do this, the truth at least has a chance of stopping this argument here and now. It's okay, Lilly. They didn't come to harass me to come or anything. Lilly gives me a disapproving grimace, silently radiating her strong feelings of displeasure in my general direction. She can be quite scary when she wants to be, though thankfully that isn't often.
Hichan, you make that sound like it's a regular occurrence!
It isn't. In the end, it doesn't matter so long as everything's getting done at a good pace. Let's just get this work over with so we can go home. Shizune snorts derisively and gets back to marking off the sheet in front of her, while Lilly sighs and finds her way along the room with her hand following the filing cabinets lined along the wall. This would mark the only time I've managed to successfully defuse one of these situations, but the grudging ceasefire built along the mutual fear and respect makes this feel more like the Cold War than any real peace. I can't take all the credit though. Lilly's leaving has surely affected Shizune to some extent, to make her give up so easily. Moments before getting back to my work, I noticed Lilly reaching up to grab something from above a filing cabinet. I almost offered to help, but her height gives her ample ability to take it down safely. Once she sets the strangely shaped device on the desk beside me, I realize just what it is. Sort of. As she takes the old green covering off and sits down. Wait, what is that? At first glance, it seems to be an old metallic blue typewriter. Ah, is that a typewriter for the blind? Maybe? I've never seen that before, so I don't know. But it doesn't take me long to realize it's far from ordinary. It has far fewer keys than expected, and those it has show no lettering printed on them. Only the shadows cast by the tiny braille dots on them give the hint to the thing's purpose. Blind typewriter? Oh, this? Well, you're not far off. It's normally called a Perkins Braille, but it's basically a typewriter for the blind, yes. It presses braille into the page rather than text, which is why it has fewer keys. Ah, that's really neat. She gives a light-hearted grin at my curiosity over it. I have to admit that it appeals to my sense of novelty. Without further ado, we each get back to our allotted tasks. The loud clunking of the mechanics in Lilly's Brella and the tapping of the laptop's old and weary keyboard quickly fill the room. It's a nice atmosphere, really. Everyone knows what they have to do, and Lilly and I get to sit beside each other and exchange the odd word as we work away. Nostalgic, that's what it feels like. The one final moment before the goodbye. That's the sense that they are really trying to give off, and the sense that I'm getting from it. It's pleasant, but just slightly stained with the knowledge that our time together is nearing its end. Excuse me, Misha. To properly address her, Misha bounces over from the filing cabinet she's peering into, in spite of Lily's lack of sight. For a moment I think it's strange, but then realize it's exactly what I do.
What's up?
Could I ask Shizune where the attendance records for Class 3-2 are? I think they've been moved.
Okie dokie.
And with that, she flitters off to Shizune, who's working at a table behind us. Lily's familiarity with the council room and the efficiency with which she works remind me that she, Misha and Shizune used to all work together in the student council. Maybe this is a fitting end for her stay in Yamaku. Working away just like she always used to, surrounded by those she loves and at least liked. I look up, getting taken off guard by Shizune sorting through a drawer rather than Misha. Sure enough, she plucks out a manila folder, entirely blank save for the just barely visible bumps on its front, and holds it in front of Lilly. Lily's hand fits over it to check what it is, her fingers feeling out the dots of braille and confirming it's what she asked for. Thank you, Misha. No reply. No reply, that is, save for an odd grin. No, smile on Shizune's face. Like, I know I usually do this only on CGs or CGIs, but both of them look so happy. And with working in the student council together just before Lily leaves, it's a really it's special, alright? Fuck. Look at Shizune's face. Like like the fact that Shizune understands and relates to the fact that Lilly is leaving Yamaku totally in like a few hours. Fuck. Also, how fitting that this scene is called Farewell, dude. Holy fuck. Look at it. Oh, oh my god. That's... Okay. A couple of seconds pass before Lilly clicks that it isn't Misha behind her, but Shizune. Her momentary look of surprise is replaced by a slightly bashful smile. For a few moments, the room is all but still and silent. Eventually, though, Shizune strides back to her workstation and Lilly begins typing once again. It only lasted for a handful of seconds in all, but it feels like years of communication were made up for in that one silent exchange. Jesus Christ, dude. They may hate each other and just be like... They may just clash like head to head every time they meet, but that's what made that fucking scene like one of the more meaningful ones in the entire fucking route. Like, even they may be first cousins, they still love each other. Like in the end. Jesus Christ. I don't know what got me so emotional. That's just... There, finished. I lean my head back and rub my eyes to try and work away their weariness. Staring at that small and rather poor screen has taken its toll. Excellent timing. The only thing left is to file this away and I'll have my workload finished as well. Good. I can pack up the brailler and put it away while you do that. Thank you, Hisao. Misha, are you and Shizune far from being done? I'll look around for the two as I replace the cover over the brailler, only to see them waiting at the door. I guess they must be waiting for us. With a minimum of wasted time, we file and pack up everything that remains and join them. Thanks for waiting, you two.
We couldn't just take off without you, Hichan. You've been a great help.
Shizune nods approvingly, pleased with my efforts. I guess that's the last class representative work done and over with then. That is correct.
I'll miss you, Lilly. I think it was fun working with you.
Thank you, Misha. It's been good working with you. And Shizune. Shizune thinks for a moment before formulating her response. It's not that she often communicates without thinking, quite the opposite, but this time it's even more considered than usual. Misha looks a little surprised before passing on the message.
Shizune says, you'd better do your work over there better than you did it here.
That's keeping up to that sass all the way to the end. Far from taking offense, Lilly giggles into her hand. If that is the case, then please tell Shizune to give those still here a little more understanding in the future. Competitive until the last. Maybe Shizune and Lilly aren't so different after all.
Shichan says that she'll be checking to make sure you live up to your end of the promise.
Then that is how it will be. I'd better be off then. Goodbye, Shizune. Goodbye, Misha. Hisao? Lily takes a hold of my arm in hers, there being no need for a cane if I'm here to guide her. With a nod of farewell to the two, we set off out the door and make our way to the school grounds. I have no idea how this is going to turn out, because she can't just leave! As I turn to wave goodbye to them, I notice Shizune's gaze lingering on Lily. They may annoy each other, but family bonds aren't easily broken. You got all your papers sorted then? Yes, they've all been filled out and handed in. On top of things as always, aren't you? She gives an earnest smile at the compliment, but it feels as if her happiness is just a veneer over the fact that she's fully aware of how much she's leaving behind. It reminds me of how she was the first time when I met her. Always smiling, always that little bit aloof, always that little distance away from everybody. Even now, she still maintains that air around many others, especially those she's not close to. I had hoped that our time together would have changed that fact. Our pace slows, the two of us coming to a halt in the all but empty school gardens.
Hisao, is something the...
Lily's words are cut short as I turn and wrap my arms around her, pulling her tight. I may not usually be given to such impulsive actions, but I just want to be close to her, even if it's the last time I'll be able to. All the other students have retreated to their dormitories and homes, only the ruffling of leaves in the breeze making any sound whatsoever. Also, Lily's face is different in this one then I noticed like the moment this popped up, her face is different from the two previous CGIs of this same picture. This is the only one where her face is sad. As I draw back, I can see she has dropped her carefully maintained smile. Her hand hesitates, wanting neither to leave nor stay on my features. She's putting on a brave show, but her slight trembling gives her away. Lily may be able to control herself well, but even she can't hold her composure together now. This is the woman I've come to love, but also the one who in all too short a time will leave the country forever. I am sorry, Hisao. It's okay. You've got your own life to lead after all. Oh, come on. I mean, it had to happen. One last time. We walk up the hallway in the girls' dormitory hand in hand, our emotions by now largely quelled. Nevertheless, our hands grip each other's much more tightly than before. Faint, muffled voices can be heard from Lily's room, the origins of which aren't difficult to guess. Oh! The moment she opens the door, Hanako bursts through and wraps her arms around Lily, taking her very obviously by surprise.
Lily! Lily!
Hanako?
I'm going to miss you, Lily.
As expected, she's on the verge of tears. Lily gently rubs Hanako's hair with her hand in response, and then pulls back and gives a warm, reassuring smile. Oh, Akira's here as well. Looking beyond Hanako, Akira can be seen getting up from the side of Lily's bed and scratching her head. Her eyes turn from Lily and Hanako to me, a stilted, weak smile hanging on her face. I try to return a more genuinely happy look, but the result is probably just the same. So, everything set? Managed to hold back from killing Shizune? The comment draws an amused giggle from her sister. Yes, I have everything in order, and yes, I managed not to. Have you packed everything you need? Got the 2 bags right here, but there's still some stuff left at the Hakamichi's home. I can pick that up while we wait there for tomorrow's evening flight, though. Akira gives the 2 large black traveling bags on the floor a hearty pat. She probably came to help pack and make sure everything was in order on Lilly's end, before going together with her.
Lilly, will you be okay over there?
I will be alright, I assure you. I'll have Akira looking after me as well, and you know that she is reliable.
But...
Do not worry, Hanako. I have your phone number after all, so we can stay in touch. With Akira's help, I could send you things over the internet as well.
Hey, don't use me just because you won't learn how to use a computer.
Hanako and Lilly both giggle briefly, the mood lightening ever so little. That goes for you too, Hisao. I promise I will contact you once I'm in Scotland. I know. I'll be looking forward to it. Her offer may be kind, but we both know that this is tantamount to breaking up. Neither of us has any illusions as to how well we'd managed a long-distance relationship. With nary a word of prompting, the 4 of us begin the long, solemn walk to the school gate. Now I said that Hanako's route, the ending was heartbreaking, but this is something more than that, like, holy shit. I'll probably do a video, like, after I've finished the entire game, just going through every route in, like, just overall and kind of talking about them, like, good and bad sides in them. You can be sure that this scene is going to be one of them, 100%. The numerous lamps scattered around the Yamaku grounds fail to do much more than provide pinpoints of light in an otherwise dense darkness. A car parked on the road just outside the school grounds comes into view, its shining black exterior reflecting the dimly lit lamps of Yamaku. I call out to Akira in an effort to alleviate a bit the heavy atmosphere. That your car? What kind is it?
Don't know much about cars, do you? It's a Lance Revo, solid and speedy.
Well, it's not as if her comment on my knowledge is off the mark. I've never really taken an interest in them. She gives a small sigh.
She's been good. Pity I have to part with it tomorrow, just like the summer house. You guys were the last to visit it before it changed hands.
Oh, so they sold it as well. Turning back from my rather faulty attempt at small talk, I glance at Hanako and Lilly, following behind us. By rights, Hanako should be leading Lilly, but it's rather definitely the other way around as she clings tightly to Lily's arm. It's a depressing sight.
So, I guess that this is it?
Indeed. Although the time for everyone to say their farewells is now, nobody really wants to take the first step. It's as if the longer nobody speaks, the better the chances of them simply not leaving.
Lilly, do you really have to go?
I'm sorry, Hanako. I won't be leaving you forever, though. I can still call you. Hisao will be here as well. I nod, but Hanako just clutches all the tighter into Lily's arm. After spending so long without anyone to call family, It must be excruciating to have to say goodbye to the one person that was as close to a mother as anyone could have been in her life. Lily lets out a long, sad breath. All Akira and I can really do is stand and by quietly on the sidelines, since the only person that can solve this would be Lily herself. Eventually, Lily pulls her arm from Hanako's grip and holds both of her shoulders gently, a much more decisive way to address than I've ever seen Lily take with her. "Hanako, do you remember when we first met? When you entered my room for the first time after overhearing my consoling of a friend, you didn't say a single word for the entire night. Even as I poured you tea and talked, you sat silently and simply listened to what I said. It took many, many quiet meetings like that before you began to open up to me, but as you began to, I felt some of the happiest moments I've ever felt. I didn't become your friend because I pitied you, Hanako. I became your friend because I knew you were hiding not just from me, but from everyone. Your ambitions, personality, interests, tastes, I didn't know any of them, and neither did anybody else. As you showed yourself to me, though, I began to realize the person that you were, and became sure that our meeting was a very special moment.
But I...
Lily cuts her words short as she brings her hand to Hanako's head and brushes her bangs to the side, gently pressing her lips to Hanako's forehead. As she pulls her head back, leaving Hanako all but speechless and her eyes moist, Lily beams a wide smile. I believe you are a very beautiful person, Hanako, and I am certain that you will become a strong and confident woman. You are a very dear friend, and someone whom I love very much. Just like Hisao, I will never forget you for as long as I live. I may be leaving, but you have your own life here to lead. Just as I do, you have your own friends and hobbies, and your own hopes after graduation. I want you to devote yourself to them, even after I'm not around anymore. That is why I think you will be okay, because you are your own self, with your own life. You yourself proved that to me. Hanako lowers her head in embarrassment, but nods as she does so.
I understand. I know I have to say goodbye. I know you have to go your own way. But thank you, Lily, for everything.
Thank you, Hanako. Will you be okay? There are a few seconds of silence before the answer comes.
I will.
Lily smiles, undoubtedly at least partly in relief. That makes me very happy then. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Lily.
And farewell to you as well, Hisao. Goodbye. I'll miss you. She pauses for a moment before walking up to me. Her right hand, outstretched in front of her, takes a hold of my shoulder. Her left hand slowly and daintily reaches towards my face, taking my cheek in her palm. For a while she simply holds my face, fingers just slightly moving to take in its contours. Usually her hand would be warm when doing such a thing, but the night air's given her skin a cool edge. I'm not sure how long we stay like this, her clouded eyes pointed just below my own, as she wears a wistful, almost distant smile. Eventually, though, I take her cold hand in mine. It's difficult to do so, but with a slight sigh, I gently remove her hand from my cheek. I hope you have a long and happy life, Lily, no matter where you might go. Thank you. I'll make sure to. She takes a long, trembling breath before turning slightly towards Akira's direction. Akira. Okay. With a nod, she takes Lily's hand and begins to guide her to the car parked outside the gates. They both walk slowly and deliberately, as if their movements had been rehearsed in advance. It's strange to feel like this now, watching somebody leave Yamaku. The feeling of unease I have now reminds me of the first time I walked through those black wrought iron gates that always looked far too pompous for what they were. That's a reference to the beginning of episode 2 when Hisao used those exact words to describe the gates. As they leave, all of us know full well that our lives are irreversibly changing. I'd always told myself that if I just have to take life as it comes, but everything's changing so fast, so suddenly. In the end, Lily is an irreplaceable part of the lives of both Hanako and me. The noise of Akira opening the passenger door for Lily brings me out of my thoughts, her hand waving back as Lily gets in.
See ya, guys. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, Hanako. Goodbye, Hisao.
Hanako's hand quickly shoots up, her face brightened by her enthusiastic farewell.
Goodbye, Lily. Goodbye.
See you, Akira. Goodbye, Lily. The door shuts as we all put on our best happy farewell faces, Akira getting in the car herself and starting it up in short measure. Lily's hand can be seen waving through the tinted windows, both of our hands waving high as well. Just as every other time I've done such things, I can't quite work out why precisely I or Hanako waved to her, given that she'd never see us doing so. But it's irrelevant. Even after that black, shiny car goes down the hill and disappears into the dark night, we carry on waving and seeing Akira and Lily off. And then they are gone. A strange stillness takes over as our hands return to our sides. I don't quite know what I should do or how I should feel. In the end, we just stand there, silently staring down at where the car disappeared from sight.
Goodbye, Lily.
All I can do in response to her quiet, mournful goodbye is to place a hand on her shoulder. She looks at me for a few moments before looking back down the hill, secure in the knowledge that I'm still around for her. What we'll do from now doesn't seem all that uncertain. We all have our own ambitions now, just as Lily said. But even so, it feels like there's a certain missing part in both of our lives now. Something that can never be replaced. Did I get a bad end? Oh my fucking god, that was a bad end! My fucking heartstrings, dude, what the fuck? I mean, sure, I was wondering, that this seems awfully final. That Lily is seriously leaving and like they packed up and said goodbyes, and Shizune and fucking Lilly even made up. What choice did I pick wrong then? Still, that was like I don't know about Emmys or Emmys or I think I've gotten every other bad ending in the game except for Emmy. Yeah, I have. I got Shizune's bad end, I got Hanako's bad end, and I got now I got Lilly's bad end as well. And I got I think I got I got the Rin's bad end as well. So Emmy is the only bad end I haven't gotten, but like from those four, this was the most heartbreaking. This was the like bad end that almost made me full out cry, because that like until that very end, like until those like only like the last few lines of that ending, I was still in the belief that Lily's going to come back, that Lily's not going to go away, that some miracle is going to happen which is not going to make them leave, and we would just live happily ever after. But I guess not. I guess not. What was the name of the where is it? Library. Lily's route. Farewells to Akira and Lilly the evening before they leave Japan. Lilly refuses to have Hamilton's offer to join them in Scotland. Hisao gets called out by Akira, and the two talk about her sibling. I honestly don't know. Where did I like? Also, would you look at that completion, 94%? Holy hell! I honestly don't know. Where did I go wrong? I don't know, but I know for certain that there will only be 2 more episodes to this Katawa Shoujo Let's Play. Lily's finale, which will be the next episode, because there can't be all that much. It can only be like an hour and a half, like at most, I'd bet. And I have to figure out like how do I get to it, because holy fuck, that shit, that left me fucking scarred, dude. And then I'll make up like a or I'll record a like a little compilation of every route, their good sides, bad sides, like the game overall. What did I think of it? If you have any questions you'd like for me to like answer, anything you'd like my opinion on about the game, make sure to like leave the comments down below. I will be answering them even after I upload the video, if there's something that hasn't been answered. But yeah, I guess I'll start looking into how I get into Lily's good end. Oh my god, dude, that shit was just holy hell. Thank you for watching this heartbreaking episode of Katawa Shoujo. You can drop a comment down below, whether it's casual banter or just some constructive criticism. I'll read it all and respond to it all. You may also click the like or dislike buttons according to what you thought of the video. Make sure to click the subscribe button and the bell button next to the subscribe button to make sure to get my videos into your sub box the moment they come online. My name is Negacious. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.